I love holding hands with friends, family, partners, but I hated having to hold hands with my brother. Oliver is 4 years older than me. He was born with pneumonia and he didn't get oxygen fast enough, so he's unable to speak or read or write. He could close the door if you asked him to, but he wouldn't think to get his own coat if it was raining. He's always had habits. For a while, it was taking bites out of the steering wheel of my mum's car. Then he moved on to CDs, and my copy of Pure and Simple by Hearsay could never be played again. Currently, it's T-shirts. So he fiddles with the collar with his fingers, and then he tears at it with his teeth. So whilst he starts the day in a rounded T-shirt, he'll often end it in a homemade V-neck. Whenever we went out, we would always have to hold on to Oliver's hand so that he didn't get lost or run off in busy crowds. But he would always embarrass me, and I would try and drop his hand as soon as I could. Growing up with Oliver was hard. I felt I was constantly embarrassed by him, by his loudness, by his flapping, by how obviously different he was. As a teenager, we would go on family holidays, and my sister and I would send Mum, Dad, and Oliver ahead of us so that we could pretend to not be related to them. But Oliver would always let go of their hand and come racing back to us, all 6'1" of him, to collect us, to hold my hand, and to walk with us. One summer in France, we were walking through a tiny market village. My sister and I had decided to pretend that we were two friends, and that Oliver, who was holding onto my hand, was the dashing older boyfriend. And it was going well. Ahead of us, Mum and Dad had walked into a marquee, and the three of us waited outside, lounging in the sun. And then we started getting glances. People looking at us just a touch too long before looking away. And I began to get that prickly, uncomfortable sensation. I looked at my sister, and we both looked up at Oliver, who was holding onto my hand, but chewing on the side of the marquee. I remember the heat racing to my face. I remember the rush of shame that ran through me. And I remember dropping his hand immediately. When Oliver turned 18, he went to live in a care home. With Mum and Dad working full-time and me and my sister still at school, he just needed more care than we could provide. He still came home every weekend, but time with him became more precious. As I got older, I would try to spend more one-to-one time with him. And one weekend, I'd taken him out somewhere central because he loves crowds and people and busyness. We had had a wonderful day, popping into shops for pastries, walking along the South Bank. We'd even met a man who had composed a poem for us on his typewriter about our day out. We were heading home, waiting on the tube platform, and I was holding Oliver's hand because it's quite a chaotic place. I was just looking to see what time the next tube was when a man standing on the other side of Oliver got my attention. He smiled apologetically at me and then held up his left hand which had been taken by Oliver, who was holding onto it with the biggest smile on his face. I yanked Oliver away and apologized profusely, and even though the man assured me everything was fine, I felt that familiar sensation, that heat, that embarrassment, that feeling of being different. I dropped Oliver's hand, and I held on to him by the fabric of his coat as we made our way back home. It's taken time. I'm an overthinker. I spend far too much time worrying about what other people are thinking. Oliver, on the other hand, lives so much in the present, simply enjoying the here and the now. I remember the time he first showed me the power in relinquishing that fear of judgment. I remember the moment I held onto Oliver's hand in the park when he was making ridiculously loud noises, not pulling away, but staying present. All my life, I had been helping to look after Oliver, and now he was helping me see that I didn't need to conform to this norm that I had set myself. Instead, just being with him, present with him, and fully immersing myself in the moment. In February, it was Oliver's 39th birthday, and we took him to go see Oliver the musical. He was so happy, flapping, clapping, making all of the noises. And rather than withdrawing my hand, as I might have once done, I held onto his hand and went with it.